What's going on, fellas? Welcome to another edition of the Throwdown. This week, we're going into week number 9. Lots of things going on. We hope you've had a wonderful Memorial Day extended weekend. www.acfl.net. Follow us on Twitter at ACFL Football. And please welcome none other than my co-host, my cohort in crime, Mr. Jim Flanagan. Flanny, it's a little late for St. Patrick's Day. What's going on with your attire today, man?
It don't matter. I'm trying to match your green hat, man. But listen, man, it's week 9. It's the Atlantic Coast Football League. We're coming off Memorial Day week break. I haven't ate as much hot dogs and hamburgers in a long time, man. Barbecue was fantastic. And listen, hey, there might have been Memorial Weekend, but in the West Rock Facility Giant, there was games that were played, We got recaps on those here for this show, and a lot of predictions here as we're coming off, like you said, it's week 9 here, but it's going to be week 8 for the touch, and then this Thursday night, it's the week 9 here for the West Rock, so narrowing down to that playoff time, man, crunch time mode.
All right. And with no further ado, that now in terms of the ACFL South, they did have off over the weekend, but we do have, as you mentioned just recently, that we do have the recaps on the West Rock. So let's go on.
And we got footage of those Giant game footage as always in the West Rock, and the highlights, man, already up.
It's up. And when I plug the website. When I plug the Twitter, I'm not messing around, fellas. You guys got to follow it. If you don't have a Twitter account, make sure you open a damn Twitter account. Lots of things popping on there. You don't have to hear the whole kit and caboodle. It's just 140 characters, and all Flanny does is he posts it. It shows it has a little thing like Tommy touchdown catch versus the Punisher. He's got the highlight right there via I'm Gure. And so you see this, and you're absolutely superstars if they're on your teammate. If you suck like you throw an interception, you might be on the highlights as well, in addition to the links of the replay. So we got our first game of the week of last week, Express 5-0 versus Revolution 2-4. We got lots of rumors that there were a lot of shit talking prior to this game, lots of social media trash talking as well, which really got the undefeated Express fired up for this game. And then the game time comes, and Revolution shows up with barely enough guys to field 6 of them. And they were missing a lot of key players. The result is much as what you can expect with a pathetic showing of that. And the Express blows them out of the water, out of the continent. They might have been blasted over there to South America or our borderless southern border into Mexico. 33-0 is the final. Not much of a contest here at all. Express stays undefeated, heavily favored to win the big one, the Smackaroonie. Hollywood with the 3rd straight week with 5 touchdown passes, which is now tied with Kenny in first this season. Flanny, what else you got on this game?
Oh, man. Talk about a blowout. And, listen, this Express team was geared up for this game. I mean, especially if you're going to come out and you're going to start yapping, man, start talking, whether it's on the internet, whether it's on the field, whether, messages thrown here and there. They came prepared, man. They came ready for this game, but it wasn't much of a game at all. And for Revolution, I mean, if that is the case, you gotta show up with guys. I mean, Agaro wasn't there, Lampone wasn't there, a lot of key guys. McLaughlin's not there, and this one wasn't even close. 33, not even the score, Giant. I know it's 33-0 on here, but it's 21-0 at the half at this game. But not even that. this Revolution team, Giant, could not even get a stop this game. Forget about anything else. I mean, they didn't score any points in this game. Every defensive battle on there, they gave up a touchdown as a result. So Express scored on all their 5 possessions in this game and scored 0 points on all their 5 offenses. So they got shut down both sides, Giant, and 33-0 is the final. Not much more I could say about this game besides, check the highlight, man. The highlight reel is probably best thing because the game wasn't even close.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all she wrote for that game. Next, we got the Punishers 0-6 versus NPI 2-3, and the Punishers still winless beginning this contest and scoreless in the last 4 games. 2 plays in the touchdown. Punishers. The Alex connects to Mo and finally breaks the slump. So congratulations, I guess. But MPI responds. They go for it on 4th down. Pete gets the first, and then the play after touchdown catch to tie it. Shockey gets a point. The point after to give NPI the 7-6 lead. Punishers quick strike back again. 3 plays, and Jerome with the touchdown to regain the lead 12-7. Big stop by Punishers as NPI had 4 downs inside the 10-yard line and could not score. So fantastic defense for them. And then the Punishers go for it on 4th down in their own zone, but can't convert. NPI then gets the first down and a touchdown to Pete, his second of the game. 13-12 NPI lead at this point. Then the Punishers are picked off. They go for it on 1st down. Pete with the one-handed interception. Punisher with a big defensive hold again in the red zone, but this time MPI on the 4th down was able to convert. Matt touchdown pass to Tommy, 19-2. NPI at the half. Lanny, what a crazy first half over here.
It was going back and forth. Yeah, 19-12 at the half there. Listen, Punishers, great. Right off like I said, they haven't scored points at all last couple of weeks. Giant 5 offensive plays, 2 touchdowns. You can't get any better than that, The game really changed here. I think, Punishers made that big stop. They had the ball. They had the lead, a chance to go up 2 scores. What happens? They go for it in their own zone. Now, I don't know how you feel about this, Giant, but I think it was the right call. I mean, here they're an 0-6. Listen, 0-6 team, man. So you got to roll the dice here. You know what I mean? It doesn't work. But it seemed after that, though, once they did not convert, the game went from Punishers, dominating this game to Punishers not being there at all. And NPI scores right off the back. They get a pick right away, and they score another one. So now, not being up, they're down a score going to the half, and I don't know what happened. I mean, listen, this Punishers team was pumped up. They got the points. They were fired up, man. I mean, that whole sideline was, they haven't felt this way in a long time, man. But then it seemed like it was going back to previously, like their week 1 and 2 performance, where both of those games they had the lead. This game too, they had the lead, and now it's just slipping away from them, man.
All right, so the second half, and it looks like the Punishers, they just gone up and disappeared like a fart in the wind. And in the second half, it's all NPI. Pete with another touchdown, finished with 3 touchdown catches, and absolutely dominated this entire game. Ends up being the player of the week as well. NPI quarterback Matt with an impressive 5 touchdown passes in this game. NPI scores 6 touchdowns in the game and go on to win 41-20. Not much you could say about the Punishers except they finally scored some touchdowns, man. But like I told you earlier in the show, guys, you make sure you follow us on ACFL Football on Twitter because the players of the week are on here. Graphics are absolutely impressive. The player cards are on here. Pete, from no pun intended, he got number one player of the week, 5 receptions, 3 touchdown passes, 2-point after attempts, 1 interception, and 1 touchdown pass. Hollywood from Express with 12 completions, 16 attempts, 75% passing completion, and 5 touchdown passes. And number 3 is M. Rupert with 19 completions, 28%, 68% passing percentage, and 5 touchdown passes. Very impressive week for NPI, Flanny.
Yeah, I mean, that's another new feature brought in, the Players of the Week. I think it's great on there for the U.S. Rock. Pete, impressive. Yeah, I mean, look, 3 touchdown catches, even threw 1. 1 touchdown pass. He had an interception. No question as the Player of the Week this week. And it seemed like he took over this game here, this NPI and Punishers game. Getting those touchdowns. And then the quarterback there, Matt Rupert, man. Matt looked like Hollywood out there, or like Kenny. I mean, 5 touchdown passes. I don't know if I've ever seen Rupert throw this many in one game.
I don't remember that either.
He looked like a superstar out there. So, yeah, Punishers did put up points on there, but defense got to get a lot better. And I like they went with a different quarterback in Alex this game. Now, Alex is a great offensive and defensive player there for this team. So when you put him quarterback, you do miss him a bit on the wide receiver route because he's not there. But I think this is probably the best guy that they went with. I think they should continue. I would give the guy another shot here. So far, he's the one that's scoring you the points. So why not? One of the things I noticed in this game was a guy named Joker on the Punishers. Not just this game, but throughout the season. I think you got to get this guy in the game a lot more. I haven't seen him much in the games. Usually might be on the sideline, but I think this guy is great both on that defensive line and the offensive line. He gets you the sacks. He got one in this game. He got a lot of good pressure as well. But then came later on in the game, it looks like they either pulled him or he got a lot less playing time on there. I think he also brings a good part in the offense. Great tight end on there. He could block and catch. He's a very tall guy. Same thing like Mo. So I would like to see them utilize him a lot more in the games. But, it started competitive, but then it was Pete's show at the second half, man. He just took over, and NPI wins it easily.
Yeah, they just absolutely destroyed them. So we got week number 9 coming up, fellas, and that's on the 31st. So week number 9 we got at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NPI 3-3 versus Express 6-0. Now I'm gonna call it, the last meeting, Express absolutely destroyed them, 44-8. But NPI, I think that I know they played against this. But I think they could hand Express their first loss. So I'm gonna say NPI is pumped up. I think they still got fire going on over here, and I still think they're gonna win. It's gonna be a tight game, man. They're gonna win 21-20 final score.
Oh, man.
Who you got on this game?
Johnny going for the upset. Wow. Taking the Empire team, and look, it could happen easily. Yeah. I think Express is definitely looking forward to the last week against Second Gen. Do they overlook this MPI team? I don't think so. I think, Express shows up each week. They always have their guys. It's not a roster issue. That's why they're undefeated. They're undefeated for a reason. And I think Hollywood is definitely gunning for that touchdown pass leaderboard on there. He's tied with Kenny at this point, and I don't see him taking it easy here against NPI. I think they continue to roll here, stay undefeated. I think NPI maybe puts up a better game than the first meeting on there, but Express still pulls out with the win here.
All right, and we got
that would ruin a lot. If NPI wins this game, that would ruin the matchup there against the Second Gen next week, man.
Oh, there's no question. And we got 2 weeks left of the regular season. What happens is, ACFL fan, is that there were 5 teams this season in West Rock in the indoor league. So what happens is it's not enough that every team just gets a bye, man, one bye, because then it would be over in like 6 weeks, right, or whatever. So they end up doing it'll be over in 5 weeks, excuse me. So rather than that, they decided to do 2 bye weeks. Each team gets 2 bye weeks, 10 weeks total. So Revolution has a bye week this week. Second game, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, second gen, 5-1 versus Punishers, 0-7. And the last meeting, second gen absolutely destroyed them, 35-0. Now the Punishers, you want to leave on a good note, so you actually scored some touchdowns this previous game. They're not going to win this game, but you guys got to start strategizing for the playoffs at this point, or for next season at least. Flannery suggested you put in Joker a little, give him a little bit more playing time. I think that's what they got to look forward to. They need to keep that change in the quarterback as well, and see if they could score maybe 28 points this week instead of just 20 points. What do you think, Flanny?
Or at least break the shutout, like their last meeting. So, yeah, I mean, second gen here. I don't gotta take out the crystal ball on this one, Giant. Second gen's gonna come out win here, but I would like to see how much improved this Punishers team. Like I said, I hope they still continue with their quarterback that they used last week, and Alex. I think he gives them the best shot. Not only winning the game, but also scoring some points here. And then they got to get better on defense. I think on defense, you got to bring pressure, man. You got to bring pressure. If your guy ain't getting in there, bring 2. Start bringing 2 guys in. Why not? I mean, I watched the game last week, Revolution and the Express, where Hollywood was just sitting back there all day to throw it. And when you give Kenny or you give Hollywood that much time to throw, they're gonna tear you apart, man. And so I think bringing the pressure is the way to go. You got to get the pressure. Sometimes your guys may have to play man up on there for that. I know it takes away one less guy playing that zone. You only got 4 guys out there, but I think you still got to bring that pressure. If you give them that time, no matter how many. How good the zone is, eventually they're gonna find a hole and find open
Exploit
guys.
it,
So
yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see here who do you think ends up Giant with the more touchdown passes after this week? It's Hollywood and Kenny are both tied up at 22 right now. Who do you think takes the lead after this week?
I mean, Kenny's been ahead all season. I mean, Hollywood just caught up with him this week. I think Kennedy's going to be the leader. No question.
Okay. I think they still end up tied here. I think they both
possible.
get,
Yeah.
And then it'll come down to the final week. For the Punishers, this is actually their last week, so their last final game here. Try to possibly break that winless streak. So we'll see if it happens. And then they get to bye next week. So that's a key note. While the other teams still have that final week next week. So.
Right. Okay, so next week is their bye week, so this is their last. All right, yeah, makes sense. They'll be, I mean, not much hope. But again, you think about next season, I think it's popular. It's very impressive. You don't have to worry. It's a controlled climate in there, so it's very effective. I think the league should, if other people could get together enough. Get some more teams for that next season. Let's move along to the
Giant.
ACFL. Yeah.
Weather-wise, who cares, man? Memorial Week or not, they still had games in the indoor, so that's what you gotta love about the indoor. Plus, you get this whole media coverage on the indoor. Players of the week, highlights, reels, stats. It's all there for the indoor. So what's there to hate?
Well, totally agree. All right, so we got ACFL South. Final week, it's week number 8 on June 3rd, 2018. We got the first game of the week, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Jokers 5-2 versus the Warriors 2-5. Last meeting, the Jokers absolutely smacked the Warriors around and made them their little bitch 26-6. I don't see much changing from this, Flanny. Maybe the Warriors scored another touchdown. I'm going to say the final is 27-14. What do you got on this, Flanny?
Yeah, listen, Jokers are rolling right now. very hot. They just came off that big win against Old Madden, and they're gonna finish the season here on a good note here against this Warriors team who's been struggling. They've been struggling hard, man. With their quarterback not being there, the rosters there, especially that quarterback spot. That's the main key downfall here for the Warriors team. And since they lost to that Wolverines team, they haven't looked the same here. And I don't see much of a contest. I got Jokers winning this one easily.
Yeah. So we'll move along to the second game, final game of the regular season, 10:15 a.m. All Madden 4-3 versus 10-yard fight 6-1. Absolute battle the last time, taking it to triple overtime. 34-33 10-yard fight. Took it the last time. This could be anybody's game. This probably should be the game of the week, and I'm going to pick All Madden to do it. I think they can do it. They almost did it last time. I think they can learn from their mistakes. Maybe I don't remember. I don't think that game was on film. I mean, who's going to be filming triple overtime?
It was, man. This guy right here. This
man,
guy
dude,
right
what
here.
Dedication. What dedication. So, I mean, you guys got to take a look at this game footage, and I think All Madden's going to find a way, and I think they'll take it. It'll be a close game again. 28-24 to final. Flanny, what do you got on this one?
I don't know, man. Here's the thing. This game would have meant so much more had Old Madden won last week, but they didn't, and it wasn't even close last week's game against the Jokers. Because if they won that game, Giant, this game would have came down to who gets that number one spot to finish. Where at this point, it doesn't matter. Old Madden could win this game. 10-yard fight's gonna be the number one seed. The top three seeds already locked in. Regardless what happens this week, whether Jokers lose, whether Old Madden win, whether 10-yard fight wins or loses, those are the top three teams. 10-yard fights locked in number one. Jokers are at number two. Old Madden is at number three. So with that said, on there, I don't know how much Old Madden takes this game seriously on here since seeding doesn't count. But in the same token, 10-yard fights quarterback has not been there past 2 weeks. Now, I think he's scheduled to be back this week. He was supposed to be out for either 4 to 5 weeks. We had that Memorial Day break. Do they use him here in this game, Giant, where seeding does not even matter in this outcome? I don't know. If the 10-yard fight quarterback's there, I'm taking 10-yard fight in this one. If he's not, Old Madden, So it's a game time situation here, I think. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, should they play the quarterback if he's good to go here?
No, if he's got a wrist injury, you got to save it. You got to save it.
Save it for the playoffs.
For the playoffs, yeah.
And luckily for them, they got the number one seed. They get the bye in the first week, so they'll even have an additional week off. But the problem with that, Giant, is that too much weeks off for the quarterback? Because now you're talking about 3 weeks already.
I remember that.
You had the bye week.
No, but the quarterback got injured on a special teams play. So what kind of retarded team is putting their quarterback playing special teams, man?
I don't know. It definitely wasn't worth it, But
well, they're not going to do it again.
But look, he's been out 3 weeks, Giant. We had the Memorial break. That's the 4th week. This is the 5th week. Plus, they get the bye in round 1. So that's if he does not play in this game, that's going to be 6 weeks without even touching the ball. Is that a good thing? I don't know. I mean, I think you do play him here in this game because then you're going to get the break the following week.
Maybe at least the first half he's playing.
But like I said, but then it's doctor's orders. I don't know if they're going with or without doctor's orders. So but I think it's going to be competitive. It should be a competitive game. Hopefully, Old Madden does not show up as the Old Madden team last week, or else this is going to be another blowout, But I think they come. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I'm hoping another overtime thriller. That was fun to watch, and It comes down to who shows up here. Does Old Man take a break? Maybe they take a break and wait for the playoffs and then start showing up. But their guys got to show up, man, because I think a lot of the guys on the Old Man, and I don't even know if they're playoff eligible as far as games played. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the Old Man team. I think they might show up with a full force here, where a 10-yard fight might not even have their quarterback, and in that case, you got to take Old Man.
Right. All right, so we'll move on to the last game now of the final season, and that's at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the 2-5 Wolverines versus the 2-5 the Six, and the last meeting, the Six won 14-13. It was a big snoozer. I'm thinking it's going to be another snoozer, probably the same final over here, 14-13. The Six is going to take it, Flanny.
I like King Wolverines, man. They're putting up points. 0-5 team that's on a 2-game winning streak. You look at the last 2 games for the Wolverines, even the last 3, even the one that they lost before that against the Jokers, they put up like 28 points. So they're finding a way to score now, while the Six continues to struggle each week in putting the points, and that's a concern, man. It's a big concern here. They didn't even show up with all 6 last week, and it was disappointing to watch them lose against 10-yard fight, and I think it's going to be another disappointing week here this week. I think Wolverines end on a good note here to end the season. 3-game winning streak, Giant, heading into the playoffs, and what a surprise, I'm going the other way, man. I'm taking Wolverines.
Fascinating. All right, well, we'll see.
No longer the Cleveland Wolverines, by the way. So
yeah, it's no longer the Cleveland Wolverines. That's great. All right, anything else you got on your plate, Flanny?
No, I just want to make sure, like I said, check out the videos there, new players of the week. I also have new graphics. As I mentioned in the previous show, I worked out these quarterback images that you're going to see in the restaurant videos, as well as like a roster lineup prior to the game. So I'm looking to add those. I was looking to do them in the playoffs, but I might bring them out early, Giant. I might do it for this Thursday, so just so guys could see what I'm talking about,
Yeah. All right, guys, so you stay tuned. We'll be here next week as we do every week. Make sure you continue to check us out, www.acfl.net. Follow us on ACFL Football. Jim Flanagan, Giant918, signing out. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.